Hello and good morning, everyone. In our today's discussion, we are going to see the drug uses. Drug uses or drug indication simply means conditions where drugs are utilized. Broadly, we have two drug uses. We have the ethical drug use and we have the unethical drug use. The ethical drug use, that is the use of drugs legally or the use of drugs in a professional manner, while the unethical is just the opposite. Ethical use of drugs, here we have different ethical uses of drugs. Number one, we have what is called therapeutic use of drugs. Therapeutic use of drugs, that is the use of drugs to treat particular disease conditions, like the use of drugs to treat hypertension, the use of paracetamol to treat headache. All these are examples of therapeutic use of drugs. Then we have again what is called prophylactic use. That is the use of drugs to prevent particular disease condition, prophylactic use. Okay, we have vaccines. Several vaccines are actually used to prevent a particular disease condition. All these are prophylactic use of drugs. Then we have what is called diagnostic use of drugs. Diagnostic use of drugs. The use of drugs to diagnose particular disease condition, like the use of fluorescein to visualize retina in diagnosing conditions such as diabetic retinopathy, or the use of methacholine in bronchial challenge to diagnose asthma. All these are examples of diagnostic use of drugs. Then we also have cosmetic use of drugs. Cosmetic use of drugs, the use of drugs for cosmetic reasons. Indeed, we have drugs that can glow your skin, drugs that can give you pinkish lips, drugs that can increase your hair outgrowth, drugs that can dilate your pupils, and so on. Good example is the use of minoxidil to increase hair outgrowth, or the use of high dose vitamin C to glow your skin. This is called cosmetic use of drugs. Then we have forensic use of drugs. We have forensic use of drugs. The use of drugs to detect criminal offenses is called forensic use of drugs. We have drugs that can induce vomiting in criminal cases like the apomorphine. Then we also have drugs that are used to analyze urine and blood samples to detect criminal offenses. All these are called forensic use of drugs. Then we have drug use for research purposes. So research use of drugs. Research use. Here the good example we can cite is the use of acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is hardly utilized in the clinical practice, but we commonly use acetylcholine in the laboratory for research purposes. These are the main ethical uses of drugs. Then we have the unethical. The unethical use of drugs, here simply we're talking about recreational use of drugs. Recreational use of drugs, that is the illicit, it's also the illicit use of drugs. The use of drugs in an unprofessional way is called unethical, illegal, or known as illicit use of drugs. In summary, what we are saying broadly, we have two uses of drugs, ethical and unethical. We always advocate the use of drugs ethically, while we discourage the use of drugs unethically. Thank you so much and see you next time.